Hello, my friends, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Interstellar Dystopia. We're at session 8. Can you believe it? We are on a roll and then some. When last we've been together, we had a multitude of things happen. So, allow me to kind of briefly bring you all to speed. One of our allies, unfortunately, had been blasted in half, watching as their head, heart, and upper chestway had been literally eviscerated by an ionic cannon held by a tall, hairy creature covered in white fur on the planet of Venus, while two of our allies had been safely tucked away from the blast within a cave made of sheet ice. Two of our other allies, known as Selene and Celestia, had managed to find their way to a genetic coding building on the planet's surface of Mars. And upon finding this facility, ran into an experiment gone awry. Some of our other allies were left back at the main complex of Sahara, where they had to deal with the undead beating their way in to an outward blast door. And this is kind of where we find everybody at the moment, where the world is just slowly coming back into. And our eyes come to our first player for the day. Just a second while I check my notes. That would be, well, allow me to set the scene. On the main complex of Sahara, off in the distance, not far from the main complex, in one of the crew quarters, you hear a metallic sounding beep, beep, beep as a cryonic pod slowly cracks open, putting someone through the unfreezing process. They fall to the ground for a moment, catching themselves on one knee and one hand, gasping for breath, as perhaps the very first air for them to breathe has entered their lungs for who knows how long. They take a moment to get over the disorientation, standing, and making their way to a nearby reflective surface to check themselves over. Why don't you go ahead and describe what your character is like, Ben?
Ben Parks is a Caucasian male with brown hair and blue eyes. Uh, Currently wearing a hoodie and pants, because surprising, but also having gauntlets and boots that have web patterns on them.
As you check your gear and materials to make sure that everything is fine, you see that you do indeed have all of your cartridges in place. All of your gear is synced up with your biometrics. You are back in action, and it has been some time since the Sahara Complex has required your services. You were part of the initial wave of soldiers brought forth to help defend the complex, but your cryonic pod doesn't give you a clear stated date at what time or what year it is. Before you, outside of the crew quarters, you can see that there is a half-open metallic door, and the sounds of general murmur and gears kind of off in the distance, muffled to your ears, but still very much present. Where do you address your attention? You have 3 components to your turn, as usual. You have movement, roleplay, and combat when applicable.
The door.
Hey, I didn't know if you want to do an investigation or not. Figure put it on the table. So, as you kind of make your way towards the doorway, putting a gauntleted hand up to it, you slide the door back to its full clip, making it, realign properly. And as you step forward, it closes with a metallic hiss sounding. Just finally, for the first time maybe in a couple of years, that door has worked. You always had trouble with that door. So as you make your way out to the corridor, you see that the main complex, what is known as Sahara Complex 1, is in good condition. The automated droids have been keeping it well maintained, and you see that there seems to be signs of life. There's, waste near the commissary entrance. There's scuff marks on the floor where people have had foot traffic. But when you were last awake, no one was here. As your eyes scan the area, you hear voices off in the distance, muffled, but you can hear what appears to be a rhythmic banging on one of the outer blast doors. Now, in the central hub, there's multiple directions you can head towards. To the north is where R&D is. To the south is where the entrance of the facility is heading towards the planet's surface. To the northwest, from where your current position is, you would find the spaceport. To the southwest, you would find some of the varying storage facilities and life support. And to the northwest, you know that there are the solar green fields, the water condenser, and some of the other various assigned buildings, some of the outcrop materials that are attached to the complex. Where do you find yourself going?
I want to follow the murmur.
All right. You head towards an immediate hallway towards your east. Slow but steady pace, your boots making metallic clack against the various slatted material, the slate tiles beneath you. The murmur grows a little clearer as you hear loud banging noises on this door. And you see off to the distance, there are two gentlemen squaring up. One of them getting his rifle ready, checking his rounds and ensuring all things are prepared. And the other is kind of banging his fists together, prepared for combat. One of these men you know to be a soldier that was enlisted to work with you by the name of Louis Marin. The other is a gentleman by the name of Tyrus. Though Tyrus seems to be in the combat mindset and not much for talking. Do you wish to have an interaction with Louis?
Yes.
Then I will put 4 minutes on the clock, and I will let you gentlemen have a little bit of fun with it. So go ahead and enjoy yourselves.
Hey, Lulu, it's been a while.
It has been. How the hell have you been?
Frozen. Not very good for a spider being like myself.
Nah, could be worse.
Yeah, I guess.
Could have seen your old teammate get through the rings. Luckily, he got his hat and his gun. Poor bastard.
What's going on currently? I don't even know why I was woken up.
Well, you see, my little young friend, I have no idea. Money's not good enough. I should have been stayed asleep. All I know is I got this hat, I got this gun, and I got a talking robot.
Yeah, fair. Where you going, at least?
Honestly, I have no idea. Wherever this big ass robot's at is telling me to. He's the one with the supersonic type. You know what I mean? It's like that movie. Starting what's his name? I don't know. Dude, it's like the other guy. In robots.
Well, I'd say we find a place to go, yeah?
I'm always up for it. As long as there's liquor involved.
Yeah, that always was a thing with you.
You know it.
I figured it about puts an end to your role play based on your convo.
Yep.
All right, Ben. So as you've had a couple of moments to catch up with Louie and kind of, fondly reminisce about some of the good times and the liquor you both have shared, your eyes are drawn to the blast door where you see a crack starting to form. Quickly, that crack spreads until the entirety of the door looks like shattered glass before it blasts outward. Though the air is staying fresh due to the tunnel that is connected on the other side to head to another part of the facility, much to your surprise, there is a small horde of undead, rotting flesh dripping in various places with fresh blood and viscera, bone showing beneath sinew, skin, hair in matted conditions of grease and decay. There are 4 normal rads, 2 irradiated, and 1 behemoth that start making their way into the facility. And so far, it is just you, Tyrus, and Louis standing guard.
I would like to use my gauntlet to make a web trap.
All right, so you can only ensnare up to 3 targets at a time with those. So who are your 3 targets?
No, I'm looking at what I have written down for it, for my web trap.
What's it say on your web trap?
It just says I placed down a trap with a radius of 10 feet within 30 feet of me.
Yeah, that would literally, because of the length of the hallway, only allow for up to 3 enemies to be encapsulated. I'm just letting you know when you set the trap, okay?
Each creature in the trap must succeed on a strength saving throw or have their movement speed halved until the end of their next turn, which I'm doing to the zombies that are in front. Walkers, whatever.
Yeah, okay, so the smaller of the rads, are you doing it to the irradiated zombies, or are you trying to head that towards the behemoth? Because there's like 3 different groupings of enemies on the table.
Whatever's the most dangerous.
You'd probably be right at the feet of the behemoth as well as the two irradiated threads. So you spread out your webbing. It kind of glimmers almost in the lighting of the facility, and it spreads out into almost a hexagonal like pattern on the ground. Any enemies that cross into it will have difficulty. So as you cast it towards them, I'll say some of the tendrils make their way towards the feet of the enemy making contact, and they need to do a strength save, right? What is the challenge for the strength?
It doesn't have a written challenge, so I will roll a challenge for you.
That works fine for me. We may need to tailor that in the future so that there's a more set challenge, okay?
Yeah. The challenge you have to beat is 16.
Okay. All right. That's not too unreasonable at level 7. Any lower level will have to address that as the appropriate difficulty, right?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the rads fails on a 9. The other rad fails on an 8. The behemoth rolls. Behemoth gets a 17. So the behemoth's movement is not impacted, but the two radiated zombies do indeed have their movement cut in half. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And with that, I'm going to get ready for battle.
All right. What is your first battle action, as setting out the trap is considered a bonus action, right?
You see, Ben Parks has a revolver. Of course, it's not a
Bueno.
normal revolver. Who would think it's a normal revolver? No, it shoots things like my web cartridges.
All right.
So I'm basically shooting webs at them.
I'm sure there's a joke to be made there somewhere, but I'm not currently going to make it. Webs being shot at the enemy. What is your what is the okay? So it's a combat roll requiring a d20 for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Which enemy are you targeting? Because I imagine you can only hit one at a time with it.
The behemoth.
Okay. Behemoth's armor class is an 18, so you'll need to roll an 18 or higher just to hit it. And in case you need a description of what the behemoth is, I will gladly give you one. It is a mismatched body. You have one large, monstrously muscled arm versus one that is very weak and frail and bone-like. One leg that is mangled in odd directions, and the other one is small. But this creature is abnormally strong and very, very big. All right, it's about 10 foot tall.
Hey, that is a 20.
Is it a natural 20 or a dirty 20?
Nat 20.
What is your 2-hit bonus above that?
Brain needs to work. What?
So if you roll a 20, what's the plus for your 2-hit that you get for the weapon? So I see how far over critting you do.
I have a +5.
So there'll be a 25. So instead of doubling the damage dice, you're going to roll me a total and then double the total given.
Okay.
Okay, so use your current damage dice, and then whatever your full total is, double that, and then give me the result.
You see, I should have thought more in advance. I need to research the revolver, but it's also homebrewed revolver, so I'm gonna just roll 2 d8, d8s.
2 d8 is acceptable. We may need to retinker it later, but that's a good start.
First is 4. Second is 6. So 4 plus 6 is a 10. That would be 20.
Yes, that would. So 20 points of damage goes to the behemoth. You see that your webbing canister has left like a little imprint of a web behind. The enemy definitely feels the attack. They don't move back or take any concussive damage, but they feel the attack. You see from where you left your spider-like imprint on the body, there's blackened blood slowly trickling out of the wound.
I'm then going to jump to the ceiling.
Okay, so there is reduced gravity on Mars. The ceiling is 200 foot above you. Even if you double your jump height, you're not going to make 200, I don't think.
Well, you see, that's the fun part. I don't have to. I have webs.
True enough. All right, I'll allow it. So with a little swish and a flick of your wrist upward, a tendril of webbing flies from your gauntlet, attaching to the roof. And with a slight tug backwards and the force of momentum, you drift upward towards the ceiling, where you stick with very little effort.
not directly on the ceiling, but on a wall nearby, so I can get a better look at everything around.
Fine here's, but all right, that works. We'll say you're on one of the support pillars, not far from the apex point of the roof. Maybe a couple of feet away from where the roof slopes upward, because it's a dome.
Works for me.
Anything else you'd like to do?
What else could I do?
Cantrip or bonus action if you still have one on the table.
All right, I forgot about all of my stuff, all of my normal stuff.
Welcome to D&D.
So focused on the homebrew.
So focused on the results.
You see, there's a fun little thing I have. 2 fun little things I have that I could use.
Yes.
Because I still have spell slots. I'm an artificer.
That is true.
I'm going to do entangle. I need to fucking research both of them. One sec. Because I want to do either Earthbind or Entanglement.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what Earthbind does. Well, you see, on Entanglement itself, it says plants. We're not going to do plants because I'm themed.
Reasonable, you're going to be using webbing, I take it?
Yep.
All right. Using one of your more volatile mixtures and one of your canisters, you lay out an entrapping web towards the enemy. What exactly does it do?
It prevents monsters from moving for 24 seconds and players for 12 seconds.
So you lock down your allies and the enemy's spot?
Yeah.
So you lock down Louis in front of a behemoth and 2 rads. Okay. Just making sure I understand what
they are also locked down because from what I see, there is no saving throw for this.
Yeah, I understand the enemy is also locked down, but come on, that is so good. That is so good.
Ben Parks wouldn't do that if he didn't have complete trust in Louis.
You want to roll for deception against the DM on that one?
Yeah.
I figured you would. Challenge is a 19 because I'm not buying it.
Not 20, let's go!
I guess I contractually have to understand and agree. Darn it. So, moving on from the fact that you spread that webbing out, you blast it towards your allies and enemies alike, locking them down in place. I'd say that's enough for us to move perspective to our next player, which we find a young Jane, having recently been trying to help her allies, Celine and Celestia, in the bio facility, looking as an experiment gone wrong is trying to burst out of a glass canister. So, Jane, with your current disposition, you see that there's a blackened tendril-like arm smashing against a crystalline ice structure, barely holding the glass of the canister in place. How do you take this, and what do you do with it?
So Jane just kind of looks down and says, I really fucking hate you, but I really need your help right now. And she pulls in and casts Charm Monster.
All right. Now, if I remember this correctly, there is a save that the creature needs to make in order to avoid compulsion. Is that a 15, 13? What's the challenge?
13 Wisdom.
Oh no, not wisdom. Not wisdom. How did I had a bad feeling about this. Let's see how we go, folks. Oh no, that's a 2. And the creature has a negative to its stat, so it becomes a 1. No, not a 1. The compulsion goes off perfectly without issue. The hypnotic waves of suggestion roll off of you, and the creature slowly reluctantly and then nice and passively just stops beating against the tank. And you see the writhing mass of its body just kind of inertly moving inside the canister, no longer trying to break its way out of the glass and the ice.
I walk up to the glass and place my hand on it.
As you place your hand on the glass, some of the blackened material starts to leak through the cracks, attempting to make contact with your flesh. Do you allow it to?
I pull back.
You pull back?
Yeah.
Understandable. Good thinking. The goo starts to recede back into the glass, staying in this inert neutral position, still very much charmed by you.
Let me see if there's anything that I can do to interact with this.
Reasonable.
I just want to investigate it for now.
Absolutely. Please do me an investigation roll, and the challenge to beat is going to be in that one. We're starting strong, folks. We're starting strong. On that one, please literally throw me anything. Throw me anything at all, please. And you'll learn.
That will be 19.
On a 19, you notice that this creature is made up of various cells. Whether or whose cells, you can't quite determine due to the writhing mass of what you're seeing. But you know that this creature is made up of some type of biogenetic material. Previously, you'd seen a gentleman with graying hair fall apart and land into a pile of this goo. So that's at least one part of the genetic profile you recognize. But some of the others at this stage, you might have references to a doctor that's listed on the file, something that starts with an F, but it's not like ringing any bells. Just whatever it is can take on whatever form it so wishes to do.
I'm not sure what to do.
Well, currently you notice that Celestia has kind of drifted off to a corner of the other side of the room in a meditative pose, as if trying to reconnect with the universe after experiencing whatever this goo-like entity has caused them to see. And you see that Celine is not far from you.
Hold up. Let me see. I think I have something that I can do to... Nope. I don't want to do that. That's bad stuff. I don't think that would be appreciated.
I mean, I might appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Fun times.
Okay, I want to shoot out. Oh, hold up. Let me make sure I can do that. Yes, I want to shoot out a healing word at Celestia. You said?
Yes, Celestia.
Yeah, I want to do that.
All right. The healing word kind of rings out through the hall, washing over to where Celestia is in meditation, and the power sinks into their flesh. How much do you heal them for?
9 points.
Your healing words sink into them, and an almost serene-like smile crosses their face for a few moments before they sink back into the meditation, their whole form floating off the ground with a multitude of ice shards flying around them in an almost helix-like pattern.
Jane kind of pulls in on herself and in a split second is replaced by Morrigan because there's no more rage. The monster is subdued and there's peace.
Beautiful. So your transformation kind of goes off without a hitch, and where once was a rage-filled young lady prepared for battle, there's now an inquisitive, peace-minded young person prepared for the world before them. What does Morrigan do, kind of as they're being brought back to the forefront?
What the hell is going on? Where am I again? Who are y'all?
The only person able to respond to you currently is Celine. So I'm going to put about 4 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to let you two ladies enjoy this one. Have fun.
God be damned, it happened again. Who are you?
She's kind of like keeping an eye on this biomass in this container. A quick introduction. I'm Celine Devonshire, and that over there is my friend Celestia.
How did I get here?
Why don't you ask yourself that question? I can't help you with that.
Ah, so if you see, there's I'm a little different. I'm sure you noticed. I just kind of phase in and out, and the last time I did that, I was in like this med bay area with this. I met this guy, and we fought this monster, and then I was gone, and now here I am. So I was at home, which was Evernight, and now I'm here, which is where? Mars. Inter-
I see. And do you have any idea where this friend of yours is?
Absolutely not. I'm here with you, dear. I'm just as clueless as you are.
Right. I see. And she kind of looks at you and she kind of looks back because she doesn't want this biomass to escape. She's kind of just
Don't
prepping
worry.
herself for a spell.
I imagine I catch your look, so I'm just like that's fine. I have a gut feeling that that's not going anywhere. Um, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, and then she kind of eases up and she's like, "All right. Well."
I reach out my hand and I'm just like, "Hi, I'm Morgan."
She kind of she looks at you and she gives a slight smile as she holds out her hand, grabbing yours, shakes it. Celine Devonshire.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet
Now,
you as
let's get the hell out of here, please.
well. That is fine, but do we know if that thing is gonna break containment? I don't want it to come after us while we're trying to
Oh,
make our, escape.
well, I think we have enough time to get out, now if we kind of skedaddle. Sometimes my spells sort of stay and sometimes, they kind of go a little haywire. So,
Bells.
yeah, I cast magic
Oh, like
of
a
all
wizard?
sorts. No, I'm actually a druid. So the
A
tree hugger.
druid. I
Yeah.
see. She kind of looks at you, like observes you. I've met many of magical types. Haven't really seen druids all that much, though.
I'll
But
be happy to teach you a thing or two.
right. Before we go, yes, let's go.
Great.
And she's like, "Oh, let me just," and she kind of just picks up Celestia, so she's not left in the room with this thing.
You reach over and it's like the little bits of energy that are keeping Celestia in levitated state are like pushing against your hands. So as you move, Celestia's just kind of like moving with you.
Okay, just come on. You just have to get through the door. No, not that way. Come on, get through.
Now, Morgan, you are watching this. You're watching as Selene is trying to guide Celestia like out the doorway towards the surface of Mars. Is there anything else you'd like to do in the nearby room before you head out?
I don't think so.
Wonderful. You and Celine make your way outwards towards the surface of Mars. The doors of the facility closing with a little soft electronic hiss. And you notice you can start to feel your connection to the spell begin to wane as you make distance away from your target.
Hi, yeah. We need to go a little quicker. Skedaddle.
That is fine. I can help with that. In my turn.
Like, I can help with that when I have a chance. I love that. Thank you, both of you. Thank you, Morgan. That was wonderful. That'll bring us to our third perspective for the day. Louis, you have been literally stuck to the ground with a whole bunch of radioactive zombies not far from your position. You can't move, and they can't move, but you've got guns, son. So, how are we going to get this done?
Well, first off, look at wannabe Spider-Man above me. Got it in my eye, you asshole. Alright, let me show you how Daddy does it.
Legally distinct, the spider-like man.
Yeah. I aim my gun. I take out my scar and I point towards the zombies. And I shoot.
I figured. So there are two rads in front of you. Do you select option A or option B?
Ooh, 50-50 choice.
Mm-hmm.
I got them. Heads for option A, tails for option B. And it's option B.
I had a feeling about that, actually. Funny. So you aim your scar and you're about to unleash a round of hot lead towards the enemy, right?
Yeah.
Armor class on a radiated Z is a 16. So please roll higher than a 16 to turn this particular one into Swiss cheese.
17.
Oh, absolutely. Not a crit, but it's definitely a hit. So roll that beautiful damage.
4.
Well, a couple of rounds definitely pop into the body, and you see, like, they're just the force is moving them backwards from the impact, but they can't move, so it's just their upper torso flailing around for being shot. But they feel the damage.
Well, that was what I was expecting. Well, I look back up at Ben. You did this to me. God
That's
damn it.
great. That is great. So you're looking at Ben. You did this to me. You unleash your barrage of rounds. Is there anything else you'd like to? You should have a cantrip at least, since your movement has been impacted by webbing at your feet.
I'm pretty sure I have a grenade I could throw.
You should still have a grenade. As a matter of fact, you should have taken the bandolero that was attached to your former ally's body before he got blasted by that unusual white fur giant ape-like creature. So, yeah, you should have at least a grenade.
I'm going to throw a grenade.
Absolutely. Please throw your grenade. I will give you advantage due to the fact that you already peppered the thing with a couple of shots. And usually grenades have an area of effect, so you'll be able to hit the other enemy if you roll high enough.
I got a nat 20.
Okay. So you're going to double the damage dice, or I should say just add an additional damage dice to the grenade. You should remember what the stats are, right?
Yes, I believe it was a 2d4s, if I remember.
No. 3d6s.
Oh, 3d6s, okay.
Yeah, that's depends. Again, you can also do an elemental attunement to these grenades. So you can choose if it's an ionic, you can choose if it is cryonic or anything like that via inputs on them. So you can choose what type of damage the grenade does.
It's a straight frag. I'm going pineapple grenade.
How sweet. So please roll higher than that 16 in order to hit them with that grenade.
Well, I rolled a 20. So
absolutely, I need you to add in your extra damage dice. That's my point. Like you got you initially hit it, but now I need to know the damage that these things are taking.
So first one's a 6. Second one's a
Yep.
4.
Okay, 10.
And final one is 6.
16. Okay, so 16 points of damage from the frag grenade are running out across both of the radiated rads, and you see that chunks of glowing blood and flesh start flying off where the shrapnel blasts into their body. What is your dexterity?
My dexterity, it is 14.
At 14, and you can't move.
No, but thank God I'm wearing a mask.
oh, DM rolled a 19, so it's not a crit.
Man.
But as the blood is flying towards you, one of the rads is going to release a retaliatory attack known as Hellish Rebuke. Allow me to get the dice. Hold on.
You did this, Vince Parker.
You take 4 points of radiant damage. So you see what appears to be like a white type of flame leave the body. It seems as if this particular, this type of undead may have been a holy man. For holy energy comes blasting out of the body and striking you.
Oh, great. Son of a bitch.
Do you have any other reactions or cantrips you'd like to cast at this time?
No, I end my turn because I'm pretty much just right now because I can't fucking move.
As you were ending your turn, you feel that the webbing starts to disintegrate around you, and you can now easily move. It only lasts for 1 turn.
Yeah, well, fuck it. I end my turn.
Hey, just following the rules. Oh my goodness. Based on my chart for the day, that would put us at our 4th player, Celine. Celine, who's literally holding a floating Celestia in your hands as you are making your way across the surface of Mars at a more rushed pace than you had expected, as a sense of foreboding starts to wash over you. Your connection to the fates have often given you warnings in great times of peril. And right now, it is warning you that something bad is coming.
Okay. With my new ally and my balloonified version of Celestia, I would like
Good description.
I would like to, if I can, use the card, use the card to use the dimension door
Oh,
to
please.
to get to my other allies, if I can.
Yes, I will give you an option for locations. You can either head to the spaceport or you can head to the main facility. Those are the closest areas you can teleport to with the range of your dimensional door as is.
And what's the difference? The spaceport's like where the ships are, right?
Yes, spaceport is where the ships are and where the telemetry building is. Whereas the main facility is where the main complex is, access to the security kiosk, and all a number of things like the commissary, the med bay, all those wonderful things.
She will. I think I would go for. I want to help my allies, but does Celine want to?
Oh, there's the fun one. Whatever will you choose, reader of the fates?
I feel like out of moral, Celine doesn't want to bring a newcomer into such crazy situations, so I'm going to bring us to the ship lot or whatever.
To the spaceport?
Yeah, the spaceport.
As your dimensional door glows and you pass through it, guiding your allies, it's almost as if walking through a sheet. At once, from the surface of the planet, you're now inside of a nice, well-lit and maintained building. Nice slate tiles, artificial plants, the smell of refresher-styled air. Recycled, a little stale, but still air.
Yeah.
You see that there are no current ships of the small nature docked, but one very, very large ship is still attached to the outside of the building. Though it's in a state of repair, you notice to be RLS Unity.
Well, I don't think a simple mending spell would work on this. Great. We need somebody with tech knowledge, and unfortunately, the only one that has tech knowledge is with the others.
Reasonable. So how do you determine whom to call?
You will contact Sir Bear or Sir Bell.
Ah, see, now here's the question. You need to be certain which one of the two targets you contact. See, we have an instance where there's more than one bell to be rung. So, are you going with Bear Bell or are you going with Sir Bell? Either or could lead to fascinating results.
Which one
I
will
just
I
need to know which
choose,
one you
the
want.
man or the bear?
Exactly.
I choose the bear.
Incorrect. your your psychic link slowly connects, and you feel the flesh and the mind of the Warforged known as Sir Bell inside the body of a bear currently on the planet Venus, inside of an ice cave. As you connect and can see through their eyes and hear through their ears. I will put 4 minutes on the clock and let you two have some fun with this. Please bear the conversation in mind and have fun.
God damn it. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Sir Bell, is that you?
Yes, it is me. Or the bear version. I'm not aware if you know of my current stature.
I didn't know you were into fursuits.
I am not a furry. I am a fur. I am a giant bear as of now. For the moment, I have copied an engram of my code into an animal upon Louise and Jack's request. Although I haven't seen Jack in a while, and Louise is busy.
I see. Well, if you can, dear, if you're not busy. I need help with repairs and technical stuff. Someone to guide me through. We found a big ship, but it needs to be worked on.
Can you try describing what you are seeing?
It's a large ship, and I forgot the detail. DM help.
Time paused. The name of the ship is the RLS Unity, a ship that Sir Bell knows very, very well, and the time has been returned.
It's called the and she squints her eyes. RLS. That's the ship name, I think, and it looks broken down.
I'm very aware of that ship. That ship has significant implications.
So you know how to fix it, right?
Have you gone out to the control panel and seen what the ship deems needs to be fixed, or I try running it and see what may be causing it not to work?
Yeah. I'm old lady walking up to the control panel, and like a son trying to explain to his grandmother how to work technology.
You have to plug in the HDMI cable.
Which plugin is that one? There's so many buttons. I'm so confused.
Try. Honestly, it works every time. Try turning it off and on again. I'm being genuine. Turn it off and on.
Okay. I do that. Does anything happen to you?
Yes, time paused. You hit one of the big buttons on the control panel in front of you, and you start to hear the ship powering down. It starts to sink away from the spaceport. Its gravitational locks are failing. It starts to crash towards the surface of the planet. You hastily slam your hand back on the button, and it starts to rise back up into the air, kind of jerkily, like it doesn't want to start correctly, before you see it kind of level back out. And the time has returned to you now.
I think it worked.
Good as new.
I don't know. It's kind of making this jerky sound.
Mm.
I will. I will. If I if I try to move it a little, does it make any noise or? Well,
You guys you're right at the end of the line for your time, so that is perfect. You're trying to access the different control panels to see if you can open the dock so you can actually go from the spaceport into the ship, just so you can get to the repairs. And the controls are just eluding you. Can you roll for me a knowledge arcana to see if you can start to understand the controls in front of you from Sir Bell trying to guide you?
I have. Hopefully, I don't roll shitty. I have a +7.
That's an 18 from the DM. Let's see what you got.
Okay, I got a 16 +7, which is 23.
Oh.
Not bad.
Oh, not a problem. It's like you've been thinking about this all the wrong way. You take a look at the control panel, you close your eyes for a moment, and when you reopen them, it's like, duh, it's these. You put your hand to this part that looks like your palm, it registers you as an operator, and the doors open before you so you can access the ship.
She looks at her friends outside. Like she's holding her finger to her temple, and she looks at behind at Celestia and the other, and be like, guys, I got it working. Wait, hold on, I'm still on the line.
Do you sever the mental connection with Sir
Yeah.
Bell?
Thank you so much, Sir
Yep.
Bell. We'll pick you up in a second, in a bit.
Connection terminated.
Connection terminated. If you'd like to extend your reach across the cosmos, please contact.
Please press 1.
For technical support with your ship, please press any button. You have pressed the wrong button.
Self-destruct.
The bay doors open up to the side of the ship where the tunnel from the spaceport connects to it, so people can come and go and do from maintenance, come do things. So if you wish, you could take your allies onto the ship.
Yeah. She will tell the two. So she will tell her 2 friends that are with her if they like, they can stay on the ship, but she's gonna have to make a few pickups first.
Understandable. Thank you for that. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
No.
Wonderful. Then we pop over to one of the crew that is still inside of a cryopod upon the RLS Unity. Upon the ship powering down and nearly crashing to the planet, the security overrides on their cryopod are tricked into releasing. And when the ship is turned back on, the pod cracks in the center and opens. And a gentleman and a very small child kind of come tumbling out. The father instinctively wrapping their arms around the child to keep them safe. But that's not all. For next to them, in another cryopod, a couple of feet down, you see a small hand press up against it inside the mist, clawing at the door as it cracks open, and a young lady falls to her knees, catching their breath. Now, Tina, would you please describe what your character is like?
Gladly. Tina is a furball. She looks a bit like a llama. Her neck is elongated. She has a rounded snout and an elongated face. She has big brown eyes and beige, poofy fur with two drooping ears sticking out from underneath her hat. That's what I got.
Beautiful. Taking a moment to kind of readdress where you are, you recognize the inside of the RLS Unity, the ship that you were assigned to head to the Sahara complex from Terra initially. You have been stuck in cryonic stasis upon a damaged ship for at least a month by this time, by your memory. It's actually been 50 years past when you were supposed to be awakened. So you are out of your cryopod. Your body kind of goes through the whole stretching and moving motions. You notice that a family of sorts, has managed to fall out of another pod upon the RLS sanctity. And you notice that as the RLS Unity kind of powers back up around you, something is not right. The ship shouldn't have powered down in the first place. You should have long been disconnected and reactivated from your cell. Would you like to do an investigation roll to see if you understand some more of your surroundings?
Absolutely.
Challenge is a 5.
Would be a... Oh, that was almost a 3, a 19.
On a 19, you take notice that most of the cryonic pods near here all seem to be ripped open and torn apart with various unusual colored goo and bits of cloth that seem to be molded and modded in places. You smell the decay in the air, but that's not all. You smell different entities. Your sense of smell, for one, is so acute that you can smell the literal ions being discharged from a weapon nearby. You can smell the repulsors from the ship releasing gravitational tachyons that your nose can pick up on. And as you do, you hear the conversation of others outside the spaceport as the ship's doors open to where there's a connective tunnel. And on the other side, you can see through the ship's cameras, there's 3 entities. One young lady literally holding another one who's hovering in midair over their hands. And the third young lady kind of watching the mischievous eyes. Wouldn't be hard for you to head out towards the spaceport. But there's also that young family that has just been awoken. Where do you find your mind drawn to?
Ooh. I think Tina wants breakfast. But first and foremost, she needs to make sure the kid's okay. So she's gonna walk over to the man and the kid and ask them if they're okay.
Beautiful. Zero, would you take the time to describe what your character and their little one look like before I initiate your timer for roleplay?
Sure. You see a drow man, thin build, frail with long white hair, a crooked wand behind one of his ears, and a book under one of his arms that isn't really holding the child, in slightly tattered but fine looking red robes. And next to him is a drow child that has lighter purple patches of skin, same white hair and 2 little pigtails, in a kind of a sunflower yellow dress, as they're both kind of looking around, and he's in a bit of a hushed tone, kind of talking to her.
And that is the
Okay.
scene that our wonderful, wonderful Tina comes upon. I will put your 4 minutes on the clock. I had to fight with my stopwatch, pardon that. Why don't you, lady and gentlemen, have a little fun with this, and let's see what the little one thinks along the way. Enjoy.
Absolutely. Realizing that I'm about 8 foot tall and probably kind of terrifying looking to you, as I walk over, I kind of get a little bit smaller and less intense looking. And I just I with the security team, can I assist you?
Before he addresses, he's still like shakily just looking straight at the little one. Luce mi stellare sta bene.
Yes, Dad. I'm okay. Just a little confused, but we'll figure that out. Oh, hi, lady.
And then Drummond looks up. Oh, my apologies. This is all very confusing to me. I think we're okay. Don't know how we got here.
I think there was a power failure. I'm gonna go try to find someone to help out if you'd like to come with me, because I don't think you're supposed to be here yet. Or maybe you were. And Tina kind of looks off in space for a moment and tries to ponder the events. Yeah.
Kind of stands up, brushing himself off, and picks up his little girl in his arms before nodding. After you, miss.
Okay. Tina's gonna look for the commissary.
Time is paused. The commissary is directly due north of where you are located. There is one on the ship as well as the main complex. So you wish to go to the commissary on the ship or on the main complex of Sahara?
Whichever would be closer, and if she thinks there would be people that would be knowledgeable.
Well, at this point, you'd have no reason to think that there's no crew available on the ship. So your logical
that's
reasoning would
true.
be to head to the commissary that's on the ship. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I figured just reasonable to ask. So yeah, you would guide Zero and their little one out towards the commissary, which is not a very far walk. Here you see that it's a primarily cafeteria-like room that has these machines that seem to be food materializers. You can request whatever food you want. It will take base particles and create them. And the time is returned to you now. You guys have about 2 minutes left, so please have fun.
I'm assuming the credits are on a card situation, and I will just go up to any of the machines and put a credit count in and pull out some food for us, and we can have a picnic. Here, have some food. What do you like, little one? Do you eat? Do drow eat? I just woke up. I'm hungry.
Also, there's the picture of the both of them.
Oh, I love them. Oh, you guys are beautiful. Here, have some food. Sit down with me.
Okay.
I'm Tina.
And she kind of hides a little bit behind her dad. I am Zero, and this is Stella.
Beautiful names. So you just woke up too.
I suppose, but I do not recall how either me or my little starlight got here.
Oh, you don't remember how you got on the ship to begin with?
No.
Interesting. Would I know anything about anyone who didn't get on the ship at their own will?
Time is paused right at a second left. Ooh, I'll give you guys a little extra time. But yes, as a matter of fact, you would know from one of the people that was helping to ferry people onto the ship to initially leave Terra that some people managed to sneak their way on board, and others were literally tossed through the entryway by their friends and family. It's entirely possible that the trauma has left Ciro with little memory as to how he got here. You may be able
Okay.
to help him find the answers. I'll give you guys an extra minute and a half. Go ahead. Have fun with it.
Well, when they were loading, there was a lot of chaos. So maybe you were loaded onto the ship in the chaos. We should find out.
I suppose so. This is a lot. In many years of life, I've never experienced something like this.
Do I still smell the decay out in the commissary area?
You definitely can smell decay from an area away from the commissary.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't think we should linger long. I don't like this. Let's see if we can find other people. I think I saw some other people, but I really wanted breakfast. And I think that's me.
As you are enjoying your meal, kind of going over the information, trying to connect the I's, dot the T's, all those wonderful moments of your life, your brain is ruminating on something. The ship does not feel right to you. And it's a good thing you have those instincts. I'll give you a plot point for that. Beautifully done. That will bring us to our sixth player for the day, Sir Bell. Now, Sir Bell, are we following your bear-like protrusions in body form, or are we following your true self?
The main one right now.
When last we had seen your main body, you had just literally finished causing chaos and mass death to a literally struggling to survive but thriving society back on Terra, setting wildfire to the corn and wheat fields nearby. Is that where we find you now?
Was there any structures that were still standing after the fire, damaged but not burnt down?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the local orphanage happens to be the last standing building nearby.
Oh, perfect. I would like to go into the orphanage and start playing music to the orphans.
Okay. As you glide your metallic framed body on your retro thrusters through the air, you lazily just push through the open doorway. The children's eyes turn to look at you in a mixture of concern and childlike wonder as music begins to emit from your frame. What is the tone of the music?
It's I want to say it's the closest thing you can get to pop, but with but with just like a flute and drums.
So okay. I kind of feel that.
And it ends up going more to dubstep, but
it's a little touch of dubstep in there. Okay, so you hear a wub wub or two.
Yeah,
that's great. The music starts to kind of ring out from your body, bouncing off the walls of the orphanage. It's into makeshift damage. It's almost as if the children start to listen almost too acutely, listening to only the music and watching you with literal transfixed gazes. You have their rapt attention.
I would like to say that your lives are only being spared, for I see that you are no threat to me. And I would also like to say that if you wish to survive, you should leave this planet immediately before I turn it to dust. I don't care how young you may be or how informed you are. I suggest you run right now before I change my mind.
All the children start to look at each other with confused, fearful glances, some of them too shocked to even move. But an old man, at the far back of the building, gives you a very gruff look before shouldering his walking stick. And much to your surprise, you see a small barrel protrude from the handle. You're not taking these children from me or from this world. We ain't got much left, but I'm not letting you take them. Come on now, Tin Man. Let's dance. But let's do it outside. We wouldn't want the little ones to see this now, would we?
That is all right with me. I see no reason to not bury you outside as well.
I believe you'll be to the scrap pile by the time I'm done with you. Off you go, Tin. I'm watching as you glide. And he's slowly clunking his leg with the stick, making his way after you. Do you lead him out the doors?
I would, if I'm close to the door, I'm opening the door for him.
Absolutely. See, the door doesn't open the way that you flew into it, so you just burst the door open on your way out.
That's fine. They don't need it anyway.
That's great. The door debris goes flying everywhere. Some of the kids duck back in fear and shock. The old man grits his teeth even more. You ought to be paid extra for the repairs. Oh, wait, you won't, because I'm going to bloody destroy you, you bloody tin can. They never should have let you pass Y2K. What's your armor class?
17, currently.
So the guy is going, because you guys have made it outside of the church, obviously. You're out in the burnt debris of what was once a thriving corn and wheat field. You kind of move a little distance apart from each other in traditional standoff, the good old-fashioned high noon position. The gentleman's going to try and fire a projectile from his cane. Not one! No! No! The old man's cane top kind of short circuits. You see what was going to be a blaster bolt just kind of die down. Yeah, stupid pests. I can't fight with us right now. This is not the time. But he failed. So you have a chance to act.
Would you say there's fire, still like fire around in like a 5-foot radius?
Yeah, I'd say there's still some fire going on in the building. He's managed to, embark some of it away to keep the orphanage from catching, but there's still all kinds of wildfires ravaging the area.
Okay, I would like to cast Control Fire and just like, I don't know, just like put fire on his clothing.
You're going to control fire when there's a giant raging wildfire. Do you even realize how much flame you're pulling onto his body?
Yeah.
So the entirety of the Inferno starts to answer to your call. His armor class is a 5.
What would you like me to roll? Because Control Fire doesn't really have a die.
Just roll a d20.
Okay. That was really close to a nat 1. 19.
Oh, on a 19, you gain control, and in this moment, the gentleman is reduced to ashes. All of the nearby Inferno is gone, completely winked out of existence for this one movement. You have taken it and rendered it useless. But the gentleman that was standing before you is now a pile of ash.
I need to cast a spell on this one. Oh well. The children will be fine on their own. If not, I could care less. Let's see. What's left to do? I would like... Do I have any like form of contacting the... Shoot, what was his name? The guy who sent me out. I completely forgot. It's been a while.
Balthazar?
Yeah, Balthazar. Do I have any way of contacting him?
Yes. If you recall, he gave you a communicator when you were sent off on your mission. It's a small upgrade chip that was added to your body, so you could very easily go to a secure comms channel and reach him.
All right. I would like to call him up real fast and just say, Balthasar, I'm finished. I've taken care of whatever threat here in the immediate area. However, there seems to be still life here, more than expected, for people on this broken planet. What else would you like me to take care of, or have? I might need to do a deception roll. I might need to do a deception roll for this, but I have taken care of every human in the immediate area.
I'll have you do that deception roll, but I'll give you advantage. The passive perception is a 16 on Balthazar.
23. That's 20.
On a 23, he doesn't sense that you're trying to deceive him. You hear a little crackle of static before the voice cries out over your communicator system. You can't have any of them still alive. They'll ruin our plans, so I'm to send you where you need to go. Remember, leave none behind. We can't have witnesses. With that, you see a little geographic display pop up inside of your programming and HUD display. And it's of a small blinking dot on the planet Terra itself, in a town you knew to be called San Francisco.
I remember San Francisco.
With a seductive, chuckle over the line, you see a black portal-like structure with white lines swirling in front of you.
I suppose. Before I go through the portal. Oh, wait, I don't know if I already used my action for this, but I would like to use well, I used the cantrip, not an action. I would like to put a magical tinkering, like a small rock or something, and leave a 6 second recording of pretty much just me saying leave the immediate area before I come back, or and just leave it outside the orphanage.
Reasonable. You leave it on top of the pile of ashes of the old man.
Oh, perfect.
It's like it just sits perfectly in like a little housing. That is perfect. You enter the swirling portal, I take it, after you've left your message?
Mm-hmm.
As you enter the swirling portal and you start to head off towards San Francisco, a singular burnt body begins to crawl with barely any life left in it out of the wreckage. We bring ourselves to the very outskirts of a rustic town once called San Francisco, but now they call it Liberty Hold. And you, Sir Bell, just begin to exit the portal in the outskirts of this town. You see that they seem to have windmills established. There's generated power, a running hydroelectric dam. There's progress. It's almost as if they've managed to jumpstart the former remains of what was society here.
How quaint, another stronghold. Humanity has really been in the coming up these days.
What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 15.
As you are making these comments to yourself, you notice a red dot appear just above one of your aiming reticles, followed by another red dot and another red dot. And there's just a whole series of them peppering over the front of your frame.
I see. That's no good.
You hear a staccato fall of boot upon rock, as from a nearby rocky outcrop, not far from where you had come upon. You see a gentleman, armored from head to toe. A black visor with strong AV 90-degree points fading out. A large carbine rifle pointed at you. Think you found the wrong place, Tin Can. We don't play with your kind around here.
Last old man who pointed a gun at me is dead, and I didn't even have to use a spell.
The last dummy come here got himself so radiated we used him for a power source. You gonna make the same mistake there, Tin Boy?
I'm quite curious to your methods.
You gonna be curious to a grave, you keep it up.
Do I have anything left besides like movement? Because I think I have a bonus action left, and that's it.
Yeah, all you have at this moment is a bonus action.
Let's see. I'm just gonna use Guardian Armor Defense Field and give myself 4 temporary hit points.
All right. The gentleman who's holding the carbine rifle doesn't even flinch as a little sheen of energy crosses over you as you start to self-replicate parts of damaged materials in order to heal yourself, obviously. Our eye in the sky goes from Sir Bell being surrounded by a bunch of laser-guided weapons back to the RLS Unity in the commissary, where Tina and Ciro, as well as the little one, are enjoying a meal and conversing. Ciro, it is your turn.
He is mostly poking at the food and just trying to pick at his brain of how he and Luna got here, just flipping through, quote unquote, flipping through memory after memory, trying to make sense of anything.
Would you roll for me an insight? And
Yeah.
the challenge from the DM is a 6.
Okay. What is my plus to that? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I rolled, a 6.
21.
As you are going through your memories, you start to have a hazy recollection build. A mob of bodies, people screaming, families praying, literal nails dragging on metal. You see limbs everywhere. In a hushed moment, there's you and your little Stella. You're trying to whisper to them that all's going to be safe when you feel a concussive force knock into you. The next thing you know, you're staring at the inside of a cryonic tube, having mere moments to register anything before the cold sets in, and you get so very, very tired. You're pulled out of your reverie when you hear a scratching noise from inside the RLS Unity. A very slow, methodic, grinding scratch of metal on metal.
Immediately putting his hand on his spell book and pulling Luna closer as he's getting up from the table, just watching where he heard the sound come from, ready to defend him and his daughter.
You see from the back end of the commissary a shadowy figure start to emerge. You hear that metal grinding noise getting louder and more distinct. Before you is the remains of a former cook, now turned undead, the flesh warped in places and holes in various locations. It's dragging behind it a large butcher's knife as it goes along the ground, and it targets you, Tina, and Stella. What do you do?
Oh, hold on. I am looking through my list.
When you start going, dig, 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 quick, 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 need an answer, need an answer.
Yep. Literally just it smells like oh god. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna odds or evens. He's doing something
Odds.
in a panic. I'm picking between this. Okay,
I
we're
call
going
odds.
with
That's good.
all right. We're going with the funny spell then.
What do you got?
In a panic and his mind switching from flashback to right back to reality. He starts. It looks like he's almost casting a elemental spell before he uses a slight wrong incantation as a storm of butterflies rushes towards where the creature is, and I need a strength save.
A strength save from the undead butcher. Okay, what is the challenge the DM must roll?
16, as he is casting
Those-
Butterfly Storm.
Oh man, those butterflies take a lot. Ooh. He failed. That's a 10. The butcher could not handle the tiny little butcher piggles.
This is a 20-foot radius, so 40-foot diameter sphere, just pulling this creature back.
Oh,
I should
man,
also mention it is heavily obscured.
Yeah, no, I imagine all we can see is just a giant swirling dome of butterflies and the occasional flash of undead flesh and a metal knife.
Yep.
That is so apropos, ironically. That's so good. Is there any other actions you wish to take?
Oh, so that's what that is. Okay. Sorry, this is a class that I've never touched, so I'm like having to read through certain things.
It's all right.
What the hell is this? Okay.
Every day's a learning experience with D&D. And speaking of D&D, while you're taking the time to look over your information, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you can be aware when the Luck Roll brings you even more content every week, because we are bringing you story after story for your enjoyment. You liking and subscribing is a little action, but it goes a long way. So thank you.
Yeah, he starts looking between the creature in his book and starts flipping to a page labeled in Drow dialect of Elvish, which in modern language is Italian, which is what I was speaking when he was first introduced. Quintessence.
Ah, quintessence.
Quintessence. Yep.
What does that do?
This will be something that happens if this creature dies.
Aha! Thank you for placing the provision. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to do, Cyril?
He is lifting up Luna and protectively, like, putting her on his back.
No, I like the other way around. You're putting yourself on the child's back. That makes far more sense.
No, I have a twin sister. He's putting his daughter on his back.
Understandable. Kind of like the atypical hold my neck and don't choke me position.
Yeah. But also the factor
Understandable.
of anything that comes has to hit me first before it even dares to touch you.
That is perfect. Our perspective pops back over to one of the main foyer areas of the Sahara complex, where up along one of the upper pillars, right near the aft of the roof, is one Ben Parks, who had previously held some allies and enemies in a very sticky web-like situation. So Ben, we find you above the battlefield, looking down on the enemies and getting a good scope. Where do we find your attention drawn first?
Can I use my heightened senses to see if there's anything I can pick up around?
Yes. You can use your heightened senses due to the fact that the majority of the facility is in near immaculate condition. There's not a lot of damage or rubble nearby, but you could grab onto one of the broken shards of the door and use it as a projectile potentially.
I absolutely want to do that. The fuck you mean, potentially?
You pick up a 4-foot segment of wrought iron and steel.
Yes.
Are you using it with a thread or with your hands? So I know where you're positioned.
My hands.
All right. So you were easily able to kind of like slide down the wall to where the rubble is at the base and grab the giant hunk of door. You have it. How are you choosing to use it?
Throw it at the behemoth if it's still alive. I don't know. I stopped paying attention.
Oh, yeah. The behemoth is alive. The
I want to
Girads
throw
are
it at the behemoth's
alive.
head.
And the 6 little normal guys are alive. Okay. That is going to be a 18 for an armor class to try and hit it with your giant hunk of metal.
I think I should have advantage on that. It's a giant hunk of metal.
You do have a +1 advantage, but that is it.
Got a 19, so dirty 20.
On a dirty 20, you're going to do critical damage. So using this hunk of wall, let's say you're doing the same thing as a fireball spell. So you use the same damage dice.
I have to remember the damage dice.
At your current level, that should be 2d10.
Okay, we're
I think.
going to go with that.
We'll go with it for now until somebody corrects me. At this stage, it's D&D. We're having fun.
I got a 3 and an 8.
That's 11 points of bludgeoning damage as this giant hunk of door goes sailing through the air and crashing into the behemoth's body. You dislocate part of its jaw section, which is now hanging at an awkward level. It's just kind of like swinging, disconnected from the rest of the body. And you hear a nice, solid thunk and a metallic gong noise ring out when you make contact.
Now here's a fun part.
Yeah?
I have a special thing called web pull.
Yes, you do.
I want to use it on the behemoth's jaw.
Okay. I'll say it's a 15 or harder to target the jaw in particular.
Dice don't fail me now. 20!
Oh, yeah. You have the absolute perfect precision to aim it between the front bicuspid, and you yank back on your webbing, and that jaw just comes flying toward you. You see a geyser of putrid, rotted flesh and blood fall out of the mouth as a result. You've done some critical damage to the creature.
Can I swing the jaw back at it?
No, not at this stage. You have taken some decent maneuvers, but you cannot use that if you've already thrown a metal door at it.
Damn.
On your next turn, you could, but it's a lot of actions.
Let's see, what else could I do?
You still should have a cantrip, and you still should have movement. I didn't count you sliding down the wall much as movement. You basically just let gravity drag you down.
I don't think I have anything else I want or can do.
Makes sense. You've done a fair amount of damage. You now have a jaw for a souvenir.
Gross ass souvenir, bro.
Hey, take what you can get. And speaking of who can get, we're back with Jane, who is outside the RLS Unity with Celine and a floating Celestia. Morgan, how do you take in the situation before you? There's an opened doorway to the RLS Unity. You can see the Celine is still kind of keeping Celeste afloat. Where do we find your attention drawn?
Can I roll perception?
Please do so. Challenge is a 12.
Oh, that's
As
a
you're
very
rolling,
good.
oh, it's a dirty 20? Ooh, what are you trying to perceive so I can better give you knowledge?
I need to get a bearing of my surroundings, and what my senses are picking up since I am a druid.
Understandable. Out in space, the call of Terra is not as strong as it normally would be. You can still hear the distant calls of Earth and the spirits, but it is more distant than you are used to. It's an almost alien sensation that you get from the planet. Life here is not true life. It is an unlife. It is death beyond death, and yet a continuance of existence that never ends. It is cold. It is bitter. You sense that there's various types of organic and inorganic life being sustained on the main complex. And you feel that there are life forces, some good and some altered, upon the ship in front of you.
So, reaching into my pouch, I want to pull something out, and I'm going to cast divination, and I'm going to
Ooh.
pray to Elune, and I am going to ask, what dangers do I face, O wise one?
A sense of unnatural stillness enters the world as time almost comes to a halt, and a very soft voice rings in your mind, but it's not words you hear, it's memories you experience. You see a butcher, once very proud to take care of his crew, working with pride on every cut of meat and every snip of parsley, until you see his visage warp and melt, bone protrude outward, his eyes sink inward, his heart stopping. You see, on the distance of the planet, nature itself is disrupted, and there is a storm that is still growing on the surface. It continues to come in small and in large style waves towards the facility, and your eyes, your mental projection of vision opens wider, as within the storm, there's a pair of glowing green eyes.
I would like to focus on that.
As you focus further on the image of the green eyes in the storm, you are pulled into a small scene. Tornado-like winds whipping at the surface, dust being pulled from Mars itself, the undead swirling in winds, but that's not what calls your mind. You notice all these little details, but up in the actual formation of the storm's cloud, you see the eyes with clarity, bloodshot with blackened lines towards slitted pupils, an almost venomous-like feeling as acidic rain falls to the surface of Mars, burning patches and turning sand to stone and glass. You can hear a malicious laugh and a hunger to consume all, and the crackle of energy, and in your mind sets the symbol of a split atom.
I offer up a tiny thanks, and I look up at my newfound friends, and I say, I think we're in for some rough times ahead. Better be prepared.
Makes sense. Do you wish to roleplay with one of your allies? I'll put the time on the clock.
I do not. I would like to in my
Okay.
turn.
Wonderful. Then we will move on from Morgan to Louis. Now, Louis, you managed to throw a couple of bullets into the enemy before you. You have your movement because those webbings that were keeping you trapped to the ground are fading, but they also faded off of the enemy nearest to you. So, where do we find your aim? Where is your target?
The behemoth in front of me?
Yeah. The behemoth hasn't been able to move because it literally just had its jaw ripped off, and it's still dealing with the fact that it can no longer use its bellowous rage.
Is it a male or female behemoth?
It's a Mulget of flesh. There's no gender associated. It's just the undead.
Huh. Okay. Give me one moment.
You got it. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. Is a behemoth a boy or a girl? How about none? That's an answer. Oh, that's a good one. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. So at this stage, you do have your movement. You have the majority of your combat capabilities. It's all depending on how you want to lay it out. While we're waiting for Louis to come back to us, I can't help but have a thought that I want to share with my players. All of you have been doing so very well. The story is starting to come together so nicely. I just hope you're not going to be too mad at me by the end of today's session. I have something prepared today that has been in the works for a little while now.
If I get left in the air again, I swear to God.
Well, you are in space. It'd be kind of hard for you to be left in the air when there isn't any air to breathe.
All right. So, anything behind me?
Behind you are some of your allies. Most of the enemies are before you because they came through the blast door that was attached to the outside of the building, heading out.
Huh. I use perception to see how many enemies that we have left.
There are currently 6 smaller rads, 2 enhanced rads or radiated zombies, and the behemoth.
I want to aim for the behemoth's head.
Okay, it's taking some critical damage, so it's a pretty easy target.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna empty a clip in it.
All right, then I will give you advantage on your roll with a +2. Go ahead.
Smile for me, you big son of a nat 20.
The lead up to that. Oh, that's so good. You got it. All right. How far above though, when you add your bonuses, did you overcrit?
Let me go back to. Okay.
Just so I'm aware, so I know how to differentiate how you do your damage.
So, give me one moment.
You gotta love when the thunder rolls. How much was it? 22?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. So you don't quite get double the damage on the die, but you do get an additional damage dice. So please empty that clip and let's see how much of a Swiss cheese you leave behind.
4d4s.
Yes.
14 altogether.
Because you're targeting the head, you're going to do an additional 0.5% of that damage. Oh, you leave giant gaping bleeding holes in this thing's head as round after round is just rapid fire into its head. It is hurting, all right? It is now prone due to the amount of shots that it has eaten. Like, it just had a full course meal of lead. And it does not like it. But there ain't much you can do about it. It no longer has a jaw.
And for the final trick up my sleeve, I toss another grenade at its legs.
All right. You know what you got to roll for the grenade, so please roll for the initial to see if you crit on the grenade's damage or not.
Yeah, 19.
So not in its crit range, but it is going to hit. So please roll for me your normal grenade's damage.
That's 1d6. Yeah, 6.
Should be more than that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, the grenades do 3d6, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. Hey, this is a chance for you to do even more damage. How many DMs are going to be like, oh, no, I'll just let you get away with that one. Yeah, I'm not going to let you do all that damage. I don't know. I prefer everything to stay on the board. So what is it, the total?
11.
11 points of damage off of the grenade. So you blow off the left leg right at the kneecap. And you hear this thing let loose like a muffled, pained noise, but it doesn't have a jaw to make noise. So it's just like this weird kind of thing.
I look at it. I used to be an adventurer like you. I didn't take a grenade to the leg. And I had my turn.
How sassy. This brings us to Celine, who is at the outside of the RLS Unity, keeping a Celeste from kind of drifting off towards the rest of the spaceport. we find you with Morrigan, as Morrigan has kind of been surveying the area. Where do we find your attention drawn to the most?
We are at the RLS, right?
Yeah, you're literally at like the docking area where you know how like they connect the dock to the building and you can walk in.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would
you're
like
like right there.
to try and see if there's something magical in this ship.
Then just roll detect magic.
That's true.
And that'd be a 15 on a challenge die for detect magic.
Do I even have detect magic? Oh, man. I unfortunately don't. Do I just roll an Arcana then? What would that be?
Yeah, you can roll for an Arcana. That will work just fine for me.
Oh, let's see. 19 plus 7, 26.
No worries. On that Arcana check, you can see that the ship itself seems to use magic as part of its energy source in some way, but you also can detect unnatural life, the undead, within the ship. You also sense a small beacon of pure light, almost as if an innocent soul is on board. A child, your senses are telling you.
She, for some reason, her opening her eyes, closing her eyes to sense this magic, you just see her widen her eyes. And almost like in a panic, she says, "There's a child in this ship, but it's not alone." And she will bolt to the location.
You're bolting into the ship with a Celestia floating in your hands. You're like just running full tilt with a floating Celestia.
I'm using like some of my magic, like a purple thread, as like a balloon, like holding her down. Just
So
balloon.
tether.
Yeah, I'm tethering her.
Oh, that's great. So instead of you carrying them in your hands, like you keep them tethered, and as you're running, they're just like being dragged behind you, just like barely avoiding banging their head as you're rolling through the building.
But yeah,
you book it through the opening. Oh, where do you head? There are two open doorways, one of which heads towards the cockpit and where you can control the ship, or to the rest of the ship, where the commissary, the crew, or the crew quarters, micro lab, life support, engine, all that stuff is.
Wherever the soul I'm sensing, the child soul.
You head towards the rear of the ship, where within a couple of feet worth of distance, you come to what's known as the commissary. You see a small group of people, a woolly, almost llama-esque shaped entity, standing guard with a gentleman who is guarding a small child on their back. And your eyes are drawn instantly to the fact that there is an undead former crew member that is a butcher that is trying to attack them with an elongated knife that's struggling on the ground.
I would like to cast a spell.
What spell would you like to cast?
I would like to cast Lightning Bolt at the zombie.
You're aware that there's a casting radius or a lightning bolt, right?
Oh yeah, the 100 feet. Never mind. Hold on, I got something else. Hold on.
I was about to say, I don't mind, but
Hold on. You know what? We're gonna do Chromatic Orb.
I thought that might be the safer option. Would you
Level.
explain to others how Chromatic Orb works?
Yes. Let me get the spell description. In short, I hurl a big orb and choose which element I would like, whether being acid, frost, fire, lightning, necrotic, or lightning damage. If this successfully hits at a 3rd level, I will be able to hit it with 5d8s.
Beautiful. Armor class of the Undead Butcher is a 14.
Okay. Yay. 18 plus 6?
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna okay. So you overcritted enough that you're at the 25 point to 30 limit, which means you will double the total damage you do instead of getting an additional damage dice.
Yeah, see, looking at this situation and seeing the child scare, she holds out her hand and just a big bolt of frost comes out of it, and all she says is no. And she will shoot out towards the zombie.
Whether you know this or not, undead are weak to ice. So please add in an additional damage dice and then double your total damage.
Okay. 5d8 without the extra dice is 30. Plus an
That's
extra
gonna
d8.
oh man, so that's 60. So with an extra 8.
That's a 4 additional.
So that would be an extra 8. So that would be 76 points of damage. That chromatic orb just flies through and just goes through the stomach of the butcher. And like the undead butcher has enough sense to look down at his body, just like as it falls dead to the ground. You completely unalive the unalive.
Then she will ask, she will say, is everyone all right?
Above table, does that mean my thing goes off?
It does. Your thing goes off.
Okay. As soon as it dies, it dissolves into crystal powder and just goes into my spellbook.
Nice.
That is great. Wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Nope. And it gives
I'm
me a
going
charge, which
I'll give you a charge.
it gives me oh.
Read the full description.
Yeah, a creature object reduced to 0 hit points is destroyed. If the target was large or smaller or larger, it dissolves into a measure 1 ounce of crystalline powder called quintessence. You can have a maximum amount of quintessence equal to twice your intelligence modifier at one time. So for me, it's currently 10. I can use these to not have to have material components to use as an alchemical reagent, or to change a spell's damage type to force damage.
Now that's impressive.
Nice. Did
I'm gonna. Mhm.
when I was bolting, did I bring, I'm sorry, I forgot what's your character's name again? The one that was originally with me in Celestia.
Morgan.
Morgan. Yes. Did Morgan follow me? When
I would
bolting?
say that Morgan would have followed due to the nature of what they'd already sensed from their own magics.
Okay. Yeah. And I will just say, are you all right?
I'm perfectly fine.
I see. Well, it seems we have new faces. And she will start slowly strutting towards you, you two, and the kid. It is very nice to meet you. And she'll hold out a hand. She says, my name is Celine Devonshire.
Mirkara, I am Zero Rune. This is my daughter, Stella. That was amazing. I can't help but thank you. Of course, so suddenly that I was actually planning on casting something similar to what you did, and somehow I made butterfly. Ay.
Pleasure's all mine. All that I'm just glad that none of you were hurt and the child is safe. As for you, what is your name? And she looks towards the llama.
I'm Tina. Just Tina. Nothing fancy for me, ma'am.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Tina.
She shakes
Now,
your hand.
now, well, this is a great meeting and all, but if there is undead in this ship, I don't suppose that it's not the only one. So I would say we should keep our guard up, just in case.
That sounds like a
What is
good plan.
what's your perception, Celine?
My perception. That's a very
Yeah,
good question that I really should know. 15.
beautiful. You have enough sense that when you said the phrase "there could be more undead, might not be alone," you feel a little ping of undead energy a little further away from where you are. And
Is
much
it?
to your consternation, it's getting closer.
And as I am talking to the three of you, you kind of just see me like kind of perk up, and you see me hold my hands together and form another spell. I'm basically preparing if I'm able to, can I prepare a spell?
Yes, I'll allow you to keep a spell prepared in this instance.
I will um I will prepare the spell Chaos Bolt.
Ooh,
Whenever the time
have that
comes.
ready.
And she will say something else is coming.
That's perfect because that pops us right over to Tina. So, Tina, as you receive this warning, you see that your newly found ally kind of perks up and enters an almost like heightened sense of danger. The wool all across your body begins to stand up, almost like static electricity kind of flows through your body. Something just disturbed the air, and you can smell through that enhanced sense of yours. Not just rot, but something more. You smell fresh blood. Fresh mortal blood. For out of the back of the ship, you see two undead. One probably were, crew members, still half in their uniforms, dragging an innocent woman behind them. She seems half out of it, as if maybe she just got ripped out of a cryopod and hasn't had enough time to wake up.
How
Do you
far
choose
away
to
are
take
they?
action, Tina? They're about
Oh
20
yeah.
feet from you right now.
Okay. You guys see shadows. And Tina just twists her hands, pulling the shadows from the corners of the room, and she pummels the two guys with an attack. Um, and yeah, that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna
Using
hit
your
each of
shadows.
them with shadows.
Oh, yeah, you're able to attack from up to 60 foot away using your shadows on your fists. So
Yeah.
if you would, you have what, 2 attacks as a monk at this stage of your level?
Yes, two attacks, and then I'm gonna flurry of blows after if they're still.
Makes sense. Let's roll your first attack and see how things go. The armor class for these undead is of 12.
Okie doke. A 15 for the first one,
All right, so that hits no problem.
and a 9 for the second one, so the second one does not hit.
Are you applying your 2 hit bonuses?
Yes. I rolled a
Okay.
3.
All right. I'm just making sure so I understand All right. So you're going to bop the first one with no interest. Like you just send out a jabbing motion for where you're standing, and you see the shadows stretch from your fist outward to strike the undead across the face. Please roll for your damage.
Absolutely. That'll be 7 bludgeoning damage.
On 7 points of bludgeoning damage, you manage to cave in the creature's rib cage, and it crumples to the ground, prone. The other one is still very much alive, and unfortunately, due to you missing, you weren't able to stop as one of its razor claw like hands reach into the chest of the innocent girl and just rip open their chest. Just rip it completely off.
I yell at it, just no.
Do you
And
choose to take any other action?
I'm gonna get between these creatures and the people that are in the room with me.
All right. You should still have flurry of blows since you managed to have a
Oh
successful
yeah.
attack, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm going to. The first one hits with a 25.
Oh, absolutely. That's
And the
okay. Since it's a
second
25,
one.
that means you get double the damage output total for that strike.
Okay. Okay. So 12 total.
So it would be a 24 damage since you double the amount of damage done on
No,
a
it was
critical crit.
6, and then I doubled it, so 12.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. So, yes, 12 points of
Absolutely.
damage go to the other one that is still standing. You've managed to literally punch its head off of its shoulders.
I turn around and say, we need to go. But I don't know where we need to be going. Do you know where we need to be going?
Who do you ask that question to?
I'll look at Celine because she seems to have some sort of knowledge about what might be happening here.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you 4 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and have fun with it.
Well, in simple terms, we need to get off of this planet. You see, this planet was a testing site, a lab, and they were trying to create immortal life, and in short, they made zombies.
Well, I guess they succeeded.
Unfortunately, now this land is plagued with huge zombie storms and hordes, and unfortunately, this ship seems like the only way out. Now, there are others that I am acquainted with that are not with me now that I would like to go get.
Well,
If
maybe
we
we
can,
can help with that.
I would love to have your company. And she would look at the both of you, and
Would you and your child care to join us? We're going to get off this planet. I think that might be the best course of action.
Yes, that would definitely be preferred.
Okay. Then I believe we should go with you, Celine.
well, I'm glad to have you two on my team.
Team.
Now, find the others. I would.
I like your balloon.
Thank you. She's technically not a balloon, but things happen. She's lying.
Things happen. This is very true.
Don't worry. This is a friend. She'll be with us in another time. For now,
Oh,
she's
great.
meditating.
Oh, balloon meditation. That's a new one.
Um, well, while we're moving around the ship trying to navigate through it, I would say to keep on guard. Like I said before.
I will keep my head on a swivel. I will drop the Furbolg magic and get bigger. And she is about 8 feet tall. I can see more from up here.
Oh, you are quite the tall person.
Yeah.
You're much taller than Celine. She's like 5'5", I believe. So. Oh no, 5'3". Yeah. So yeah, she's definitely like just looking up at you like a little kid. She's she goes, right. Shall we get moving?
Absolutely. I think we should go. I'm gonna pack up my picnic and put it in my cargo pants.
That is perfect. And literally at the 4-minute mark. Oh, Tina, after getting some general directions and a kind of flow of events from Celine, where do you choose to stride?
Off the planet.
So you want to try and head towards the cockpit of the ship, I take it?
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
You lead your allies towards the cockpit, leaving behind the unfortunate scene of an innocent life taken by the undead. As our perspective pops over to Terra, where, with multiple laser points attached and pointed at his frame, we find one Sir Bell facing off against a large gentleman in military garb. The conversation has gone on for some time about what is going on and what the robot wants and how much of a tin the can be. But we find ourselves with Sir Bell back in the command chair. So, Sir Bell, what do you do?
Can I tell how many lasers are pointed at me?
There are 7 lasers currently pointed upon your front frame. Like, you can count all 7 points are all kind of like in this star-like shape around the very center of your power unit.
7 to 1. Who's the closest to me right now?
Literally the commander is the one that walked towards you because there's the others are all just pointing their laser pointers at you. You were the only one here as you went to Terra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I would like to. How far away is it from me? Like a few steps, 15 feet.
Yeah, he's literally not even 15. He's about 5 foot away.
Okay.
Like, man's had some balls. He apparently has no fear.
I'm gonna upcast. I'm gonna go up to him and upcast Thunderwave.
Oh, why Thunderwave?
19 damage with a con of 13.
Yeah. Here comes the commander trying to see if he can avoid being shocked for his life. And he can't. That is a 2. It's a 2. Oh, no, it hurts. The thunder wave flies out, and you see his body like start to convulse from the waves of electricity being surged into his body before his eyes roll back and he passes out on literally to the ground in a heap of smoking flesh. What is your armor class?
17.
They start opening fire. First one fails. Second one fails. Third one Who really fails? His gun jams. Fourth one failed. Fifth one failed. Sixth one succeeded. And finally, last one failed. So you only have one attack coming your way from a laser rifle. 2d6 worth of.
Is it
electricity.
any type of element, or is it just a laser rifle?
It's electricity. It's using ionic pulse to fire out a super condensed form of plasma. It's releasing electrical discharge.
I'm gonna use absorb elements on it.
Oh, okay. So that takes the damage that was coming your way and turns it into HP for you, right?
Hold on, let me read the description of absorb elements, because I know I just gained resistance to it. I mean,
They might be new. Back in the day, you used to be able to take HP when you were absorbing the element, so they might have changed it.
Spell creates a energy or shot. Yeah, I just have resistance to whatever the damage type is.
Okay, so you'll take half damage.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. You take 3 points of damage as you cut the 6 in half.
Nice.
So, like there's like little scorch marks on your outer frame from where the ionic plasma strikes you.
They never go down easy.
What do you choose to do, Unimate?
That was my reaction and my spell.
You still have Overclock, one of your basic combat abilities, and a plot point on the table.
I would like to. How far is the closest other person to me? Like, are they like he was like, and like a few steps away, and then everyone else is like 120 feet away?
They're like 50 foot up on a raised ridge, shooting down at you from an elevated position.
Is there like, can I see like a ladder or anything, or do I not know how they got up there? Or is it like a castle wall, almost like where I can see them on top, but I can't see like any way of getting up?
Yeah, it's like rocky crabgrass and sand dunes for where you come along the shores out by San Fran. So there's like these large dune-like structures, and they're up on there. But remember, you can fly.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
I understand. I'm just making sure I paint the full picture for you, so you have all the tools at your discretion before making a decision.
I would like to overclock, run to the closest one, and shock and grasp them if I can.
Oh, absolutely. Using overclock, you double your movement. You're able to just go vertical from the ground and head up to one of the nearby enemies. Please. The armor class is a 12. These are
24.
grunts. Oh, you're gonna do okay. So roll your damage and then double the total.
It's not a crit. It's a dirty. It's a 19 plus 5.
Doesn't matter if it's dirty or not at this case, because you went so far over 20, you qualify for that damage.
Okay. What was
Remember,
it?
some spells have a crit range of 19 to 20, so keep that in mind. Same thing as some weapons. So your damage, you're going to double the full total when you roll it.
Okay, then 12. I got a 6.
All right, so 12 points of damage, and you see this body start to convulse and froth at the mouth as you have completely fried his neural synapses. You've turned him to mush, basically, mentally.
That's pretty much it. I don't have anything else.
All right. And that brings us to Ciro.
Hello.
Hello, Ciro. You have been following your allies as they're making their way towards the cockpit of the RLS Unity. So what do you and your little daughter do? Where do you find yourselves trying to wander? Are you going to follow the crew? Or is mystery going to drive you to another space? Tell me.
He's going to follow, and as he's walking, he's going to cover Stella's ears and kind of huddle up next to the group. I remembered how my daughter and I got here.
I'm going to mute and let you have fun with this one.
It wasn't a pretty sight. My wife was attacked and killed, and in the panic, we were trying. I was trying to get her to safety, and I was hit in the back of the head. All of a sudden, I was in one of that tube you broke me free of. And then everything went dark. It was. I don't even remember how long ago. Now we're here. It's me and my little girl. I'm not sure what to do from here. So I am under your guidance. Hopefully, in any way I may be able to be of assistance. But know this. I am a father first, and a mage second. My daughter, she comes first before anything. She's all I have left.
It's as you're sharing this passionate moment to your allies. Would you do me the favor of doing a medical check on your daughter?
Oh, okay. Oh, hell.
We're coming to the end of session today, and this is where we're headed for it. So, roll better than a 17.
Find it fitting that in this moment of panic, I get a crit. That is a 23.
On a 23, as you are finally getting the chance to look over your daughter for perhaps the first time in centuries worth of time in stasis, perhaps, you notice, much to your shock and horror, and that horror is growing by the moment as your allies kind of look around at it. There is a perfectly shaped bite mark on your daughter's forearm. And you see inside the mark is blackened lines and veins, though it doesn't seem to be causing your daughter any discomfort at this stage.
And he just, his dark blue skin slightly pales and he looks up. Are any of you medical experts in any way? When something.
I do believe a Morrigan may have a response to this. Morrigan, you have every right to interact.
Okay, so I'm torn between two spells that I have. I really need a D2 right now, but we're just gonna fucking roll a D4 and just wing it, man. That's a 3. We're gonna go with protection from evil and good, maybe.
Very solid
Yeah,
choice. Please describe how
we're
that
gonna go with
works.
that. Oh, until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against the creatures that are aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. The protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target can't be possessed by or gain the charmed or frightened condition from them if the target is already possessed, charmed, or frightened. As such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the relevant effect.
Ironic you managed to pick the perfect spell, for as the protections of good and evil sink into the young Stella, you see that the bite mark begins to refill with fresh flesh, and it wipes away as if it never happened. But you do notice, much to your confusion, a mark is left behind by your magic. A mark of your divine.
That should do it. And just Morgan holds a thumb up. Great.
Thank you again.
No problem.
He's kind of just like holding his heart, just kind of shaking.
As you are coming to grips holding your daughter, literally reveling in the fact that something good has finally come from all of this, you hear a beeping noise from the central console of the cockpit of the RLS Unity. There's a distress signal that is being beamed from a nearby planetary body, and the comm system above the RLS is receiving it. Do you choose to accept the call?
I'll walk up and tap it.
A static screen appears before you, the signal not quite strong. You hear some blipped words before a very pale face appears in the camera. Black and putrid teeth, eyes void of all light and colors, just black pits. You see cracks in the lips where blackened blood is pouring out. And across the message, you hear played one simple word. Damnation. As you hear this word ring out, your eyes lock on the entity. All light within the RLS Unity fades as power is immediately sapped. The only thing keeping it aloft is the fact that it is attached to the dock, and you hear the metal groaning as it's struggling to keep attached. What do?
Everyone stand together. It's a long time. And he grasps his hands, and the breaking pieces of the ship start to mold. As he's casting Golder's Tower.
Very solid. Offering a bridge to safety.
Yep. Or as I like to call it, the mini version of Magnificent Mansion.
So I feel I must ask, Morgan and Celine, do you take the offered bridge and leave the collapsing ship?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, Celine?
I was gonna ask the group if they have dark vision, because I know it's dark right now and I could cast light.
Well, the entirety of the spaceport is lit up with various lighting and things like that to make it easier for ships to land. So you don't have to worry about low light, but you do have enough time crossing this golden bridge structure to look back as the RLS Unity falls into a blackened hole in the ground. You have just enough moments to see the last bits of the aft of the ship fall deep, deep within the recess of the shadow, before it appears to disappear entirely, leaving nothing more than the unmarked surface of Mars in its path. Your ship is gone. And as the ship falls, you hear a loud, screeching, bellowous noise as the winds of the storm of Mars have finally approached complex Sahara. Off in the distance, you can see a large horde of undead bodies shambling off in the distance, running intermittent of the static electricity and winds. The great storm has finally come. And that is where we end our session tonight.